Hello and welcome to Kettle and Bones, where we make really delicious, really healthy food. And you can too. The winter holiday season is upon us, and if you happen to be from the United States, that means Thanksgiving will soon be here. Thanksgiving, of course, in its modern-day form, is all about togetherness and gratitude. And food. Lots and lots of food. Fortunately, that also means lots and lots of leftovers. And sure, if you've been strict in your low-carb or ketogenic diet year-round, you may be taking a cheat day on Thanksgiving. But cheat day does not necessarily have to extend into an entire cheat weekend. Today, we'll be assembling what is probably the highest and best use of your Thanksgiving dinner leftovers. We're making a spectacular sandwich that has all the flavor of a big turkey dinner with almost none of the carbs. We're making the Dana. Let's get cooking. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving in the traditional way this year, that almost certainly means turkey, gravy, cranberry sauce, etc. And many of those can be made low-carb and keto compliant with just a few adjustments. Let's start with the cranberry sauce. In a bowl, I'm eyeballing about half a cup of powdered erythritol sweetener. I do recommend using the powdered or confectioner's version if you can get it, because the granular versions of many non-sugar sweeteners may not dissolve. They might make your sauce grittier than the powdered version. Next, just about half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. We've used xanthan gum to make a few different dishes so far. It's a great binding and thickening ingredient, and it's going to help us ensure that our sauce doesn't come out like cranberry soup. Let's put that dry mixture to the side for a moment, and on a burner over high heat, we're filling a pot or pan with about a cup of water. And here we... come on. All right, here we go. Shoot. Okay, here we go. Come on. Man, it's like trying to dribble a football. Come on. Here we... Oh, nailed it. Woo! All right, now in with the rest of the cranberries. This is 12 ounces or about 340 grams of fresh, bouncy cranberries. Cranberries in their natural state like this are pretty much unpalatable. They have to have sweetener added to them, and honestly, I don't even know that our half cup of erythritol sweetener will be enough, but we're going to taste it later and add more if we need to. For now, we're just stewing these in water only. We're going to bring this to a simmer and let it go for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. In that time, you will see these get very soft. The skin of the berries will likely split and separate, the interior of the berries will become soft, and the whole thing will start to get almost like a thin jam. By the way, if you're wondering how the Dana came to be called the Dana, it's named for its creator, my mother. While I can't pretend that she came up with the idea of putting Thanksgiving leftovers on a sandwich, this specific version is directly inspired by her culinary teachings. And while the versions of the Dana I enjoyed during childhood contained added sugar and wheat flour, something I'm thankful for now is the wide availability of alternative ingredients that allow us to make this low carb without sacrificing the flavor. While the cranberries are stewing, we're going to work on developing the flavors a bit. Using a microplane or fine grater, we're going to add the zest of about half a lemon and of an orange. I have a little tiny mandarin orange here, so I'm going to zest the whole thing, but basically you just want to be adding in equal parts lemon and orange zest. I'm also going to add in some dried cloves. I think I have 6 or 8 cloves here. This is optional, but for me, cloves are an unmistakable winter holiday smell and flavor. Okay, continuing to develop that flavor, it's time to make this palatable with our mix of sweetener and thickener. We're going to sprinkle this in a little at a time while we mix so we don't get any clumps. This is especially important anytime you're adding xanthan gum to any liquids. Gummy clumps of xanthan gum in your food are pretty gross. This will be nice and smooth though. It's already starting to get noticeably thicker. Very nice. Look at that, bubbling like a vat of cranberry magma. do be careful. As this gets thicker and thicker, some of those bubbles may tend to splat as they burst, and they might splash out some very hot liquids. Watch your hands. Let's give that a quick taste. Okay. The flavor is actually good. It's just still really sour. Nowhere near sweet enough. So let's eyeball about another quarter cup or so of our powdered sweetener. From here, basically you just want to be tasting and adjusting until it is just the right mix of tangy and sweet for your preference, and until it is thick enough. That looks just about perfect. This has become a nice viscous sauce, so I'm turning off the heat and I'm going to add just a dash of cinnamon and a small splash of vanilla. Just a couple nice wintry finishing touches. Let's taste one more time, and that's the one. We are done. Now this is currently molten cranberry lava, so let's remove that to cool off so we don't scorch the interior lining of our souls when we take a bite of the Dana. Next, I'm going to quickly prep the turkey I'll be using for this. Now, since I'm making this before Thanksgiving, I don't have leftover turkey yet, so I have cooked a couple turkey tenderloin pieces sous vide at 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius for 3 hours. I actually did that last night. If you want to learn more about sous vide cooking, which I highly recommend, check out episode 21 of series 1, where we used it to make our tender, juicy pork chops. That turned out so good. Like just about every meat that's cooked sous vide, we're going to sear these in a hot pan to add color and flavor. I'm patting these dry before they go in because introducing additional juice into the pan now would cause the turkey not to sear, but to steam. And I don't want steamed turkey. It won't take long to sear all sides of these pieces. Of course, ideally, we'd be working with leftover Thanksgiving dinner turkey pieces, all nicely herbed and flavorful and aromatic. Big, tender, juicy chunks of light and dark meat all mixed together with some perfectly crispy bits of skin in there. Although, that also brings up a good point. This is a great meal to make just on its own. Maybe February rolls around and you're missing the holiday feeling. Chase away those winter blues with a few Danas. Or maybe you're just doing a small Thanksgiving this year. Maybe you aren't doing a big, huge turkey. A few rounds of Danas makes a really tasty, really convenient alternative to a huge holiday dinner. Okay, these can rest for a moment to ensure maximum juiciness. Meanwhile, let's use the turkey fond that's in this pan to build a flavorful gravy. I don't have any leftover gravy yet either. Now, if you had already made Thanksgiving dinner gravy, hopefully you used the giblets and the juice from the roasting pan to get it started. Since I don't have all of that, I'm actually going to start with some bacon drippings that I have saved in the fridge. Butter would be okay here too, or your favorite healthy, heat-resistant oil. I'm starting our gravy with fat because to ensure it is thick and rich, we'll be using a little xanthan gum in this as well, and xanthan gum incorporates especially well into oils and fats. We're essentially making a roux, but without using wheat flour. And that is exactly what we're doing next. In goes about 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Don't use too much here. If anything, err on the side of being over-conservative with this. It does not take much. I'm using a sauce whisk to mix that in right away to ensure we don't start with any clumps. And that will take just a few minutes to activate. We're going to see this get noticeably thicker momentarily. I still have the turkey juice from the sous vide bag that the tenderloins cooked in, so that is definitely going in here. And we'll pick up the rest of the slack with chicken stock, roughly 1/2 cup. This is going to be a really quick, easy gravy, probably one of the quickest pan sauces we've made together so far. So I'm going to season with onion powder and garlic powder. On Thanksgiving, you can bet I'll be using fresh onions and garlic, but this is just fine for today to ensure a smooth, flavorful gravy. I'm also going to add just a little freshly ground black pepper. I'm going to hold off on adding any salt for now. It may get enough from the ingredients. We'll taste at the end. The turkey tenderloins, by the way, were seasoned with salt, pepper, and dried thyme before they cooked sous vide, so we have those flavors in here as well. Now this is really thick, I think almost too thick, so let's thin that out with just another maybe 1/4 cup of chicken stock. That xanthan gum really works. That looks better. I want it to end up thick, but not quite so pasty as it was just now. Let's let that simmer for just a couple minutes, really, and that looks exactly like the consistency we're going for. Let's take a taste. Wow. I am genuinely surprised at how good that came out. Honestly, I was not really expecting the gravy to be a source of much flavor on its own, but this is really nice. I'm going to finish this just like we've finished many of the other pan sauces we've made together, with very cold butter. We don't really need this for thickening our gravy today, but we need it for a little additional richness and a nice, luxurious, glossy sheen. Beautiful. Done. We are so close, I can figuratively taste it. I just need to carve our turkey, air quotes. I'm just gonna slice it. This came out really nice and juicy. That's awesome. Turkey tenderloin is a portion of the turkey breast. It's really lean, something like 99% lean, so it's very easy to dry it out if you cook it too hot or too long or too fast. A million things can go wrong with a meat that's as lean as turkey breast is, which is why cooking it sous vide is such a good idea. Okay, we have everything ready. Let's put the Dana together. Since the Dana is a sandwich, put this together on your low-carb bread of choice. Today I'm going with some of our nicely toasted cloud bread. Cloud bread is something I have on hand almost all the time. Check out Classic Cloud Bread, Series 1, Episode 4, if you'd like to learn how to make it. I was this close to using a chaffle for this today. A chaffle would actually be great for handling all the saucy goodness, but we just made a chaffle sandwich last week. Remember? The Chaffly Joe? Remember Chaffly? Joe? So today we're going to go with light, fluffy, delicious cloud bread. On to the first slice of said cloud bread, we're going to spread some softened cream cheese. Cream cheese is an essential flavor in the Dana. On top of that, we are placing one layer of our tender, juicy, delicious turkey breast. Again, ideally, you'll have a mixture of leftover light and dark turkey meat, but use your imagination for today. On top of the turkey goes a generous glorp of our savory, rich, thick gravy. Next, this is going to blow your mind. Another layer of tender, juicy, delicious turkey. This is done mainly to provide some division between the two sauces we're using. And right on cue, coating our top layer like slow-spreading neon lava, it's our tangy, sweet, cran-tastic cranberry sauce. The last of the Dana's toppings, and some would say its secret ingredient, is onions, crispy fried onions. Now you may have to search a little to find a brand that is not breaded and fried. You just want them fried in oil only. I found a Vietnamese brand of fried shallots at a nearby international market. Apparently that's a common ingredient in that part of the world, and these are just shallots fried in oil, nothing more. We conclude the Dana with a top bun of cloud bread, also slathered with cream cheese. This helps to keep the fried onions in place, at least those that aren't being swept away in a river of molten cranberries, and ensures that we have a cool creaminess floor to ceiling in this beauty. Shall we continue the tour inside? Please, after you. Look at that. Within the loving embrace of our warm, toasty, cream cheese-clad cloud bread, the gravy has confidently transcended the many levels of tender turkey, while the cranberry sauce, adorned, resplendent with sweet, crispy wisps of onion, reclines atop the pile, looking down approvingly as if to say, "Well done. Well done indeed." This is what the holiday season is all about. I hope that whether you're making this Friday morning using yesterday's leftovers, or making this from scratch to bring back the memories of holiday seasons gone by, I hope this brightens your week, and I hope it helps you and your family make some joyous and tasty memories. In the spirit of the holiday, I also want to say that I'm thankful for you. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing. I am truly grateful each and every time that you do. And of course, I'm extra thankful to the OG Dana, my mother, for the inspiration for this recipe and the multi-generational tradition that it represents. Thankful for you, Mama D. Stay with Kettle and Bones for many, many more ways to stick to your low-carb or keto commitment while still enjoying all the wonderful flavors of the holidays. But for now, just enjoy the Dana.